You've heard it a million times. Drink 8 glasses of water a day. It's the most repeated health advice on the planet, hammered into our minds like a sacred commandment for well-being. But what if I told you that for people over 50, blindly following this rule might not only be ineffective, but potentially dangerous? The truth is, the science behind the famous 8x8 8/8-ounce glasses is surprisingly flimsy. This video dives deep into the question many are researching: why 8 glasses of water a day is a lie for people over 50. We're not talking about a conspiracy theory, but about physiology and how our bodies transform over time. As we age, our internal systems, from our kidneys to the thirst sensors in our brain, operate differently. Hydration remains absolutely vital, perhaps more than ever, but the one-size-fits-all approach simply doesn't apply anymore. Ignoring these changes can lead to subtle but serious consequences, ranging from fatigue and mental confusion to severe medical conditions. If you've ever felt guilty about not hitting that daily target, or wondered if you truly need that much water, this video is for you. Stick with me until the end to discover how much water your body truly needs and how to adapt your hydration for a healthier, more vibrant life after 50. And if you value evidence-based health information, take a moment to subscribe to the channel and turn on notifications. Let's unravel together where this rule came from and why modern science offers us a much smarter, more personalized path. To understand why the 8-glass rule is a fallacy, we need to go back in time. The origin of this recommendation is actually quite murky. Most experts point to a 1945 publication by the Food and Nutrition Board, a research body in the United States. In their guidelines, they stated that an adequate water intake for adults is 2.5 liters per day in most cases. This amount is roughly equivalent to 8 glasses. However, the crucial part of this recommendation was almost always omitted in its popularization. The very next sentence stated, "A large part of this quantity is contained in prepared foods." That's right. The original recommendation included the water present in foods like fruits, vegetables, soups, and even in coffee and tea. The idea that we need to drink 8 glasses of plain water in addition to everything else we consume is a misinterpretation and exaggeration that has become a cultural myth. For the general population, this simplification might be harmless. But for people over 50, the story is different. At this stage of life, the body undergoes significant changes that make a generic rule not just unhelpful, but dangerous. Kidney function is no longer the same as it was when we were 20. Electrolyte balance becomes more delicate, and our very perception of thirst can mislead us. Therefore, the lie isn't in the importance of water, but in the rigidity of a number that doesn't account for body weight, activity level, climate, and most importantly, the physiological changes of aging. This brings us to a fundamental question. If the 8-glass rule is a myth, how does our body, especially after 50, actually signal and manage its hydration needs? The answer reveals a fascinating complexity crucial to our health. One of the biggest challenges in hydration after 50 lies in a mechanism we used to consider foolproof: thirst. When we are young, the sensation of thirst is a pretty accurate indicator that our body needs fluids. This system is regulated by osmoreceptors in the hypothalamus, a region of the brain that monitors the concentration of solutes in the blood, like sodium. When the concentration increases, signaling dehydration, these sensors trigger the thirst alarm. However, consistent scientific studies, published in journals like the New England Journal of Medicine, show that this thirst mechanism becomes progressively less sensitive with age. This phenomenon is known as hyponatremia. In other words, a 65-year-old person might be significantly more dehydrated than a 25-year-old before feeling the same intensity of thirst. The body needs water, but the brain doesn't send the signal with the same urgency. This creates a dangerous trap. The person doesn't feel compelled to drink. Dehydration sets in chronically and subtly, and symptoms begin to appear. Unexplained fatigue, dizziness, constipation, headaches, and even mental confusion, which are often mistakenly attributed to other age-related conditions. Chronic low-grade dehydration is a risk factor for urinary tract infections, kidney stones, and can even worsen blood pressure problems. Therefore, relying solely on thirst to guide fluid intake after 50 is like navigating with a broken compass. A more proactive, conscious approach is needed. If we can't fully rely on our thirst instinct, where should we look? The answer lies in another vital organ, whose function subtly transforms with the passing decades: our kidneys. Our kidneys are the conductors of the body's fluid management. They filter blood, remove waste, and crucially, adjust how much water is reabsorbed or excreted in urine to maintain perfect balance. When we are young and dehydrated, our kidneys are extremely efficient at concentrating urine, reabsorbing as much water as possible and expelling waste in a minimal volume of fluid. With aging, a natural process called renal senescence occurs. The kidney's ability to concentrate urine diminishes. This means that to excrete the same amount of metabolic waste, an older person's body needs to use a larger volume of water. In practice, we lose more water through urine than before, making us more susceptible to dehydration. And this is where the 8 glasses rule becomes particularly problematic. For an individual with certain health conditions, like congestive heart failure or chronic kidney disease, which are more prevalent in the over 50 population, excess fluid can overload the system. If the kidneys cannot efficiently excrete excess water, fluid can build up in the body, leading to swelling, edema, and, more dangerously, increased strain on the heart. Furthermore, forcing a high water intake can dangerously dilute electrolytes in the blood, especially sodium. The idea that more water is always better completely crumbles when confronted with the physiology of aging. Drinking too much, without considering kidney capacity and delicate electrolyte balance, can be as risky as dehydration. But how exactly does excess water become a danger? And what are the warning signs everyone over 50 should be aware of? The silent danger of uncritically following the 8 glasses of water a day. Myth has a clinical name: hyponatremia. This condition occurs when the sodium level in the blood becomes dangerously low. Sodium is a vital electrolyte, essential for regulating blood pressure, nerve function, and muscle contraction. When we drink an excessive amount of water in a short period, especially if our kidneys cannot eliminate it fast enough, blood volume increases, and sodium becomes diluted. The body's cells, to balance sodium concentration, begin to absorb the excess water, causing swelling. This is especially dangerous in brain cells, which are contained within the rigid skull. Brain swelling can lead to severe neurological symptoms. The early signs of hyponatremia are subtle and can easily be mistaken for other issues: headache, nausea, fatigue, and confusion. In more severe cases, it can progress to seizures, coma, and even be fatal. The risk is amplified in older adults by 2 main factors. First, as we've seen, kidney function may be diminished. Second, the use of certain medications common in this age group, such as diuretics for high blood pressure, which promote sodium excretion, and some types of antidepressants, can increase vulnerability to hyponatremia. This is why the idea of flushing the system by drinking gallons of water is a dangerous oversimplification. Hydration is a matter of balance, not extreme volume. This information is vital. If you found this useful, please share this video with a friend or family member over 50. It could make a big difference in their health and safety. So, we arrive at the crux of the matter. If 8 glasses is a dangerous lie and thirst is unreliable, what is the correct formula? How can we calculate our individual hydration needs safely and effectively? Forget the 8-glass rule. Smart and safe hydration after 50 is personalized. Fortunately, there are evidence-based methods to estimate your individual needs. The first and most common approach used by nutritionists and doctors is based on body weight. A general formula recommends between 30 to 35 milliliters of fluid per kilogram of body weight. Let's take a practical example. A person weighing 70 kilograms. Multiplying 70 by 35 gives us 2,450 milliliters, or about 2.45 liters per day. For someone weighing 60 kilograms, the need would be around 2.1 liters. This formula is already much more accurate than a fixed number for everyone, as it takes body mass into account. However, this is just the baseline. The second method, and perhaps the most practical for daily life, is monitoring urine color. Your urine color is a direct indicator of your hydration status. Ideally, it should be a light yellow, like lemonade. If it's dark yellow or amber, it's a clear sign you need to drink more fluids. If it's consistently transparent, like plain water, it might be an indication you're drinking too much and diluting your electrolytes. Remember that some supplements, like B vitamins, can alter urine color, but in their absence, it's an excellent and free visual guide. Finally, it's crucial to adjust this baseline according to external factors. Do you live in a hot and humid climate? Do you exercise regularly? Are you experiencing fever or diarrhea? All these situations increase fluid loss and require higher fluid intake. The key is to listen and observe your body, using these tools as a guide. But hydration doesn't just come from the water bottle. A significant portion of our daily fluid intake is often hidden in our food. One of the most effective, and often overlooked, strategies for good hydration is eating your water. The notion that only liquids count towards our daily goal is part of the same 8-glass myth. In reality, many foods, especially fruits and vegetables, have a very high water content and contribute significantly to our total hydration. Think of cucumber, which is about 96% water. Celery and iceberg lettuce are right behind, at 95%. Watermelon, a summer classic, is 92% water, as are strawberries. Other excellent options include cantaloupe, zucchini, and bell peppers. Integrating these foods into your daily diet not only increases your fluid intake, but also offers a double benefit. They come packed with essential vitamins, minerals and electrolytes like potassium and magnesium, which are crucial for the body to retain and utilize water effectively. For older adults, this approach can be particularly advantageous. Drinking large volumes of plain water can sometimes feel like a chore, or cause a feeling of bloating. Consuming water-rich foods is a gentler, more natural way to stay hydrated, while also adding fiber to the diet, which aids digestion and prevents constipation. Another common issue in this age group: a salad at lunch, a slice of watermelon as a snack, or a soup for dinner, are delicious and efficient ways to supplement your fluid intake. So, when thinking about your daily hydration goal, remember to include the contribution of these foods. Incorporating these foods is a smart strategy, but the effectiveness of our hydration also depends on timing. It's not just about how much to drink, but when. How we distribute our fluid intake throughout the day is as important as the total amount. Drinking a liter of water all at once in the morning and forgetting the rest of the day is not the ideal strategy. Our bodies, especially our kidneys, handle a steady flow of hydration much better than a sudden flood. The best approach is to sip fluids consistently. Start your day with a glass or two of water upon waking. Overnight, our body loses fluids through breathing and perspiration, and starting the day by rehydrating is an excellent way to kickstart your metabolism. Throughout the day, keep a water bottle nearby and take small sips regularly, rather than waiting until you feel intense thirst. A good rule is to drink a glass of water between meals. This aids digestion and ensures a steady intake. It's also important to be aware of beverages that can have a diuretic effect, such as those with high caffeine content and alcohol. While a cup of coffee or tea won't significantly dehydrate you, they shouldn't be your primary source of fluids, as they increase urine production. Alcohol, on the other hand, is notably dehydrating. Finally, pay attention to nighttime timing. For many adults over 50, waking up in the night to use the bathroom, a condition called nocturia, can significantly disrupt sleep quality. To minimize this, try to reduce your intake of large volumes of fluid 1 to 2 hours before bed. Continue to sip if you're thirsty, but avoid drinking a large glass of water right before sleep. With all these strategies in hand, we create a personalized and intelligent hydration plan. However, the final piece of this puzzle, and the most important of all, is crucial. We've reached the final verdict. The 8 glasses of water a day rule is, for the over 50 population, an oversimplification, and potentially dangerous. We've uncovered that science shows us a much safer and more effective path. To recap, the original rule was misinterpreted. Our thirst mechanism becomes less reliable with age. Kidney function changes, affecting how we process fluids. And the risk of hyponatremia from overhydration is real. The correct approach is not a magic number, but a personalized plan. You should calculate your basic needs based on your body weight, adjust it for your activity level and climate, monitor your urine color as a daily guide, and eat your water through fluid-rich fruits and vegetables packed with electrolytes. Furthermore, timing matters. Drink consistently throughout the day and moderate intake before bed. And now, the most crucial point of all, our medical disclaimer. The information presented in this video is for educational purposes and does not substitute professional medical advice. This is especially true if you have pre-existing medical conditions, such as heart failure, kidney disease, liver problems, or if you are taking medications like diuretics. In these situations, your fluid needs may be very specific, and in some cases, you may need to restrict fluid intake. Only your doctor, who knows your complete health history, can provide safe and personalized guidance. Use this knowledge not to self-diagnose, but to have a more informed conversation with your healthcare professional. If this comprehensive guide has helped you better understand your body, please leave a comment below stating which tip you're going to implement first. And don't forget to subscribe for more science-based content for a healthier, more conscious life after 50. Take care, and see you in the next video.